I mean, drama queens are going to drama queen. If he's mad that they're drama farming him essentially on YouTube, it is what it is. But he's kind of engaging in a game of brinksmanship here that probably is just going to fuel the fire rather than squelch it.
Gerard the Completionist has finally responded to the allegations of charity fraud against him and his foundation, Open Hand. Do you need a quick recap of all this, or have you been following this, Razor?
Well, you and I, all three of us, covered it on Monday pretty extensively. So yeah, I'm pretty up to speed.
Right. So he came out and he actually posted a 20-minute video about it. It was a 20-minute video that he posted on Twitter, posted it on YouTube, and the long and short of it was he offered a response and the whole thing. He went into the video. He kind of really went in depth on a lot of things while noticeably leaving out several items in it. This was a very well-prepared speech that was certainly looked over by legal counsel in some way.
I was gonna say, I watched a little bit of it, and it definitely, he took my advice. He said, what was it I said? Whatever he says, he needs to get with his lawyer first, find out what it's gonna be. And it definitely sounds like he took that advice.
He did. He absolutely did. And in doing so, it was pointed out by multiple people in the community notes that there were some other things that he missed. He said Gerard said all bits, super chats, etc. would go to Open Hand, and that we're not touching any of it. However, he said that these sources offset production cost, which obviously is contradictory. There are several other contradictions. And that video that is referenced here goes to Mudahar, or Some Ordinary Gamer's response to this response. So now it's like a back and forth and back and forth. And Mudahar has his thoughts on this. And I feel like, we've really discussed this several times on the show in the last few weeks. And I feel like we've really treaded lightly while still giving it the coverage that it deserves. But I may be wrong. I don't think that anyone on the show has really made any definitive statements on it outside of pretty much, if he did something bad, he should be punished, which I think is something that we should say about anyone who does something obviously illegal. But in this video, he talks about, he very much wants to sue. They're exploring legal action. At the tail end, he gets kind of fiery, and I don't know. It's obvious that he's gonna fight the allegations, but it's interesting to see kind of where it's going to be going moving ahead. But I think given the reach of everybody involved and the public interest, I would think, but I don't hope, but I think that it'll probably play out pretty publicly. But this whole thing is just a mess. It's just a giant mess. It's a mess for everybody attached to it.
Kind of like that beard. When did Gerard turn into Rubius from Harry fucking Potter?
Thank you. I mean, first it's Rubius, but not Rubius. But yes, his beard's shit. I was staring at this entire time doesn't anyone smell like
Labs? Ridiculous.
Yes, I'm proud of it.
So he makes his statement over here on Twitter, and sure enough, Carl Jobs is like, "Hey, listen, I'm ready. I'm gonna talk about this at length too, right?" And it goes back to speaking of old school wrestling. Eric Bischoff, his famous statement is, "Controversy creates cash."
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't think that Carl and Mudahar, aren't milking this to the best of their ability to talk about it, like
the only cow on a dairy farm. Are you shitting me?
They're going crazy with it. So Mudahar responded, Carl responded. Obviously, I'm sure that Gerard says it'll be the only time he talks about it, but I guarantee it won't. But the most fascinating thing for me has been the line in the sand that so many people have put. Specifically, so we have Cam shows up, Camelot 331. He'll be on the show every once in a while, and his booking agent over on X has been very vocal about Gerard and such. And for him, it's a very black and white issue. He says, I'm sorry, his booking agent says, the people defending Gerard right now are wild to me. Dude lied and solicited donations for organizations that never received money. 10 years later, he is pressured by YouTubers, which he plans to sue, and finally donates the money. The money depreciated over 100K over this time, and people battling dementia didn't benefit. Some lives could have been saved or helped. You can be indifferent, you can have no opinion, but if you're actively defending, you are complicit and are morally corrupt over blind loyalty to a person that likely doesn't care if you die. He didn't care that people suffering from the same illness his mother had to suffer longer as a result. So you see a lot of people like Camelot's booking agent over here being very passionate about it, where other people have been like, well, I'm glad he said something about it, and it's a really a great thing that he is. We've been, like I said, we've been very wait and see on this whole thing. I don't know, Razor, do you have any thoughts on this at all? I mean, or is this just more?
That was kind of the approach I took. I figured he would come out and make a statement. It was weird. It was definitely not. You remember several years back when Pro Jared was accused of a bunch of bullshit, and he took a wait and see approach, probably waited a little too long, honestly, and then finally hit back, and he was very calm and very measured and very, here's the receipts, and this can't be possible because X, Y, and Z. And it was very effective, right? Is super effective and pretty much got those allegations off his back. He'll always get the jokes and the whatever, the people snickering at him, but he was very, very direct and what have you. This came across as like an attempt to be measured, and then sometimes he was just spurging out a little bit. And it was like he couldn't kind of keep himself in. I almost feel like he should have had someone else make the video, maybe. Because maybe I got the sense that perhaps his emotions are a little over-involved here. Like he's taking it personally. I think that's what the threats to sue these guys are about. I mean, drama queens are going to drama queen. If he's mad that they're drama farming him essentially on YouTube, you know, it is what it is. But he's kind of engaging in a game of brinksmanship here that probably is just going to fuel the fire rather than squelch it.
He does get very passionate at the end of his video, and I think part of that is to kind of send a message that he's, you know, I'm not going to take this sitting down, right? And let's go and watch the last minute or so about this, because he does bring up a lot of points about this, is that whether he's found innocent or guilty, it doesn't matter, because the court of public opinion has already made their decision one way or the other. And there's a million judges out there on this. So here's the last minute of this where he gets kind of spicy.
Should be held accountable when faced with serious allegations. However, the narrative can get taken so far away from the truth that the court of public opinion supersedes fact. I recognize and take accountability for all of my actions. At the same time, I am not going to let my reputation be compromised by allegations that are not true. I own up to my part in this, but I will not be painted as someone who is a con artist and embezzler. I won't be someone whose name gets tarnished without putting up a fight. I owe it to my friends, my family, and myself to stand up to this situation right now.
And that's how it ends. So then there's like a, you know, little like, hey, whatever at the end of the video, where it's he actually has an entirely different like inflection and everything. You know, Blabs, could we do a poll, please?
I mean,
Poll
I
in the
just
chat.
did one, but yeah.
What was the poll? What'd you do?
Nothing.
Is Craig a boomer? Damn it! God damn it, Blabs.
Survey says
Yes.
Yes. It's even a bigger landslide than should Alex Jones be put back on Twitter. Damn it.
We're gonna let that poll go.
Yeah, let that one breathe a little bit. It's okay. That's all right. Oh my God. Well, look, I'm sure this situation will probably be played out publicly. And like I said, it's amazing to see how people have dug their line in the sand. They're either, you know, this is very like kind of COVID feel to it. Where like you're either right or you're wrong. And we've seen this play out many, many times over the last few years. And to see this happen over like a content creator
Yeah.
is kind of crazy.
Especially, well, you know, when you weigh down into charity streams and you begin to assert your sort of moral superiority in that instance, you sort of are implicitly. Yeah, there's going to be a unique sense of betrayal in that when it turns out that that's not entirely the case. So I understand that on some level. If I had given to these streams, I wasn't even aware of them until after all this happened, I'd probably be pretty pissed too.
Right. And I think that's where a lot of people, it comes together for a lot of people. It's the charitable aspect of this, for sure. Like the fact that, hey, we're going to do this. We have been doing this, but in reality, none of it had actually been done. It's one of the, you know, like, don't say you're doing something if you're not actually doing it. But what do you think about this? Leave us a comment down below. We read every single one of them. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button because you have found your home for common sense in the gaming and entertainment worlds.